night series using the phenomenal notes of Rabbi Mansoor. Absolutely incredible. We covered through, made a lot of progress in yesterday's session, and in today's session we are going to continue. We've been talking about the highlights of the Leila Seder, and we're now going on. We are actually left off in the Magid section. The Magid, naturally, part of the middle of the Seder, where we recite over the whole Yetziat Mitzrayim story. So let's just look through some of the notes, incredible notes, which the great Chacham has given on the. So Magid naturally is a telling over of the story of leaving Egypt. Actually, it's the most important part of the Seder night. Women are also obligated in the Haggadah, just like men. Preferably, they should read from the Haggadah, even if it is in English, and at the very least, they should listen. The minhag of the Syrian community, which he is he's a rabbi of, is that the entire family reads together over there. Many other communities, I believe, also have this custom. We may speak throughout the Haggadah only about matters relevant to the Haggadah itself, respectively. Over there, very, very important. Otherwise, we should refrain from just talking in general. Before Magid, naturally, we pour the second cup of wine. It's related over. And then we recite one paragraph. Ha, lachma, anya. And we take the kara, the plate, off the table, so that the children should ask, why are you taking this plate off the table? That's one thing. So we bring in their question into their attention. Remember, part of the Leila Seder is to engage the children in the Leila Seder also. So we want them to ask questions constantly over here. Then they will ask over there, and the custom, I think, in the Syrian community is to give it. Okay, so then the children ask, well, why have you finished the Seder before the meal has been served over here? Because we're trying to surprise the children over here with regards to the order of the Seder. Then the custom in the Syrian community is to give it to a girl of marriageable age, or the one closest in age, as if to say, go get married and leave the home. Everyone gives her barachot, and she stays in the kitchen. Then the children are even more curious over here, and they ask, obviously, the custom is to allow each child to ask the manishtana respectively. We know that. So we just talked about the kara, and now we're talking about the plate itself, why you remove it from the table, and now the manishtana. So we all ask these questions. The halacha says to give the children gifts on the night of Leila Seder, naturally, because we want to keep them curious, we want to keep them engaged the whole time. In the olden days, they used to give children nuts, while today, people give candies and small toys and all those things. After the manishtana, this plate itself, which we've got, the kara, is brought back, and we say, Abadima Yinu, Ha Yinu, one of the songs of Pesach also, which is actually the answer to the manishtana. Naturally, it's an answer to Abadima of the four questions, respectively, what they're talking about. Okay. What's actually interesting is, now let's just add on a bit more. Okay. Just getting the gist. Just give me a second here. I'm just processing just making a small change. Okay, so what's interesting, the halakha, as we said before, the halakha says to give the kids gifts throughout the Seder night, and be it as may. Okay, Divrei Torah must be at the table and geared towards the children. We shouldn't say over Divrei Torah where the children aren't necessarily going to understand, because we want the children to be engaged as much as possible. And it should all be centered around the Yetziat Mitzrayim, the leaving of Egypt itself, respectively. It's actually recommended reading through the Mamloa's book, naturally, of Rabbi Yaakov Kuli, or the Midrash Tanhuma on Parshiyot Va'era, Bo, and Beshalach, and then teach it at the Seder naturally. That's one of the things that one should do. When you reach the part of the Haggadah that lists the 10 plagues, which it's going to do over there, the minhag of the Syrian community is that someone stands next to the Baal HaBayit, holding a vessel, preferably a broken vessel, and even a plastic is fine. Fill a cup with wine. This time the amount is insignificant. You don't need the specific amount of wine over here. There's no shiur over here. As the Baal HaBayit is going to read the plague, Dam, Vaesh, V'timorot, Ashan, he pours out a little of wine from the cup into the vessel for each of those three words. Then he's going to continue the phrases. Elu esem hakot shebi HaKadosh Baruch Hu ala mitzrim b'mitzrayim ve'ilu hen. And as he utters the name of each makkah, each plague respectively, he again pours some wine from the cup into the broken vessel. He also pours a little out for each of the acronyms given by Rabbi Yehuda, which we read over. Desa, Adash, and Bihab. No one should be looking into the vessel because it symbolizes the Sitra Achra over here, the Shedim over here, and the Ruchot, all the bad things. You don't even look at the wine in the vessel and get rid of it immediately. Pour it down the sink. This is what many people do, and throw the vessel away. There's many reasons for this custom over here. The idea being that the makot that God gave in Mitzrayim are only a drop in the bucket compared to, God forbid, what he might do in the future times and at the time of the final redemption. Okay, then there's a thing of Pesach, Matzah, Maro. We reach the main part of the Seder, where naturally we have Pesach, Matzah, Maro. Here we stop and emphasize the importance of everyone saying Pesach, Matzah, Maro. Everyone's going to say these phrases in the Leila Seder over here. We read the okay, but if anyone is tuning in at the moment, I'm going through what we're going to do on the Leila Seder of the Pesach Haggadah, because it's a live video at this point in time. So anyone that is coming in, I can see people are questioning what I'm actually talking about. We're talking about the Passover Seder. When calling out the first word Pesach, we keep our hands to ourselves. We don't point to the shank bone, because this isn't the real Korban Pesach over here, the shank bone. And we don't want to designate it as such. Also, we don't let it be. When calling out, we say the word matzah. We do point to the matzah over here on the kara, and we also point to the maror when we call out maror. So when we see the matzah and the maror respectively, we will point to those. Then we say dayenu and raise a cup of vahisha amda. Just to add a footnote, some of the Persian communities would actually take the spring onions when they were singing dayenu and will symbolically let's say gently slash each other, as these are some customs over here, but be that as may. Afterwards, we uncover the matzot, and there are only a few more paragraphs until the end of this Magid section inside the Leila Seder. Lefiha, anahu, hayabanim, etc. Okay, before reciting the final bracha, what is it? Asher galanu v'gaal et avotenu. We have to make sure to gather everyone back around the table and announce. Everyone sit down. Now we are making a bracha on the cup of wine, on the kos. Everyone take the cup on your right hand. Everyone must listen and don't answer Baruch Hu or Shema, which we talked about in the previous session. When I say Ga'al Yisrael, we answer Amen. And we recline to our left over here for Haseva, for the reclining, and drink the second cup of wine at this point in time. We follow the Haggadah, as it will, we follow all the Haggadah that we have, because naturally that's going to instruct us within regards to the order of the Leila Seder respectively. Okay. Let's continue the what's going on next, friends. Okay, we talked about Pesach Matzah Amaro. Now we're talking about Rachsa Motzi Matzah. Okay, so friends, what's going on over here? Okay. No one should get up to wash their hands until they hear the Baal Habayit's explanation of Motzi Matzah, because after washing we don't talk. So naturally he's got to explain. The Baal Habayit is going to explain. There is a mitzvah d'oraita from the Torah to eat matzah on the night of the Seder. The person of the house has got to explain this. This is an obligation for both men and women. Lachatchila, ideally, it's preferable to eat 2 kazaytim for motzi matzah. If it's too difficult, then eat only 1 kazayit over here. The Sephardim in general, the Arabian Jews and the Spanish Jews, usually measure by volume, and only when it's difficult to measure volume, we measure then by weight. This is what the Kaf HaChaim, a great Rabbi Yaakov Sofer, and Hacham Ovadia, Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, say respectively. On Leila Seder, it is important to measure by volume, because measuring by weight over here will mean that you'll be eating a lot, and you might not be able to do the other mitzvot properly. You don't want to go over top. Hacham Ben Zion, Ben Zion Abba Shaul, great Persian rabbi originally, calculated that 20 grams is a volume of 1 kazayit. So for motzi matzah, we need to eat 40 grams of matzah. The Baal Habayit raises all the matzot from the kara, from the plates respectively. The top and the bottom ones are whole, and the middle one is not naturally. as we've related before. He recites a bracha of a motzi, for which he needs the 2 whole matzot, so that he has lechem mishnah, respectively, which we'll talk about maybe in that session. After this bracha, he no longer needs the bottom one, so he puts the bottom one back onto the plate itself, respectively. Over here, he's going to put it back there, and holds the top one and a half matzot while reciting next bracha of ahilat matzah over there. Then he breaks off the small piece from the top matzah and the small piece from the half matzah underneath it, and he must dip it naturally inside the salt, over like we do on Shabbat. For matzah is made without salt. He does this for everyone at the table, so they get a taste from the 2 matzot respectively, but this is not nearly enough matzah to fulfill the mitzvah, so we add more matzah from the box. The Rabbi recommends that before Pesach, we measure 40 grams of matzah and prepare individual little packets, which we do in our house, or bags for each participant in the Seder, so that they will be able to fulfill this mitzvah. Then each person will receive, over here, each person respectively receive that specific amount over here. From naturally from the top and the middle matzot, and in addition the packet with the pre-measured 2 kezatim on matzah. Naturally, this is going to we know this will save time later on also, which is another added benefit. If anyone's tuning in now, we're just looking over the highlights of what we do on the Leila Seder itself, respectively. It's just some brilliant notes from Rabbi Eli Mansoor over here. Okay. We have to eat it nicely, the matzot, naturally. Why is this? Because there is no reason we don't need to stuff it down ourselves. We have 4 minutes to eat each kazayit, 8 minutes for both kazatim. We may eat the matzah with salt, but not anything else in this part. The Zohar HaKadosh calls the matzah mechla de asuta, bread with medicinal properties. Wow, that's how great it is. So instead of, God forbid, people shouldn't complain about eating the matzah, consider it as a cure, and it's as a gift. It's something medicinal and something very much good. Eating the matzah is a main mitzvah of the night of Pesach. Hacham Ben Zion, Rab Ben Zion Abashol, used to say, he used to say the phrase, Halayla hazeh kulo matzah. This night is all about eating the matzah, and all the other food is secondary, naturally. At the Shulchan Aruch, Hacham Ben Zion, that's other part of the Seder which we're going to go into, would eat only a kazayit of meat and a few spoonfuls of soup, and then he would eat more matzah, because he held that every individual kazayit of matzah that one eats on Leila Seder is a mitzvah doraita. That's how great it actually is. This also emerges from the wording of the Rambam, naturally. Okay, then after this, we're going to have the section of the Leila Seder of Maro and Korach. What's his friends over here? One has to eat 1 kazayit of Maro, naturally 30 grams. Remember, some of these, I believe, the grams and the volumes are divided from different people, might hold different opinions. The Shulchan Aruch gives 5 different opinions of vegetables to use for maro. The best one to use is the romaine lettuce. The lettuce leaves must be checked very well for bugs. According to Jewish law, a person deserves, God forbid, if they could transgress this, 139 lashes for each bug he eats. So we have to wash and check the maro very, very well. Make sure there's no bugs. This can also be presumed to save time and overeating. We dip the maro in the charoset just a little bit, and we even shake it off. The Baal Habayit recites the bracha, al achilat maro, and everyone else is going to eat it without leaning. For leaning, what does that do? It represents royalty over here and freedom. Yet the maro is bitter and represents slavery over here. Now we make a matzah maro sandwich for Korech, which 1 kazayit of matzah, which is 20 grams, and 1 kazayit of maro. But then we put them together in your hand, dip it into the charoset. This time we don't have to shake it off, and we say Zecher lamikdash, bi'amenu Yehudash kihilel hazaken, etc. There is no bracha on the Korech. We must eat it while reclining to the left, the Korech section itself, respectively. Then it's going to be Shulchan Aruch. What is Shulchan Aruch? Let's look into what is this fabulous section over here of Shulchan Aruch. Okay, friends. we enjoy the Su'udah naturally. We eat a meal. One should have good wine and meat, red wine ideally. Divrei Torah, we say words of Torah on the table and we sing during the meal. It is said that Malachim watch from above and praise the Jewish people for this Su'udah. We stop eating before you are full, as to leave a bit more room inside the stomach for the afikoman to be soon eaten also. Minhag of the Syrian community is to take the beitzah, the egg, from the ka'ara, cut it up, add some salt, say zecher lekorban hagiga, and eat without reclining this. One is permitted to eat the zerah, the shank bone, at this point, but certainly don't say zecher lekorban pesach. When preparing the zerah, we either don't roast it at all, or first boil it and then we can roast it over here. For we don't want it to resemble the korban pesach, which was roasted. Then it's going to be the tzafun, the eating of the afkomen, then barech, halel, and nirtzah. This is how we will culminate the Seder night. These are just some small points I recommend everyone to research about the night itself. Now we bring the piece of matzah that was hidden earlier, the afikomen. After we eat the afikomen, we are not allowed to eat or drink anything except for water. And the last 2 cups of wine. The afikomen matzah has so many sugulot, it's so powerful over here. Small pieces of afikomen matzah have been known to be carried around by the great righteous Rabbanim and used in times of danger. God forbid we don't want to be in that situation. To calm a stormy sea, to help a woman during difficult labor, or to save someone from an enemy. If you would like to save a little piece, you may, but the mitzvah is to eat it. And they add on, everyone should lechachila eat 2 kazetim, adding matzah from the box. But if you can't, then eat 1 kazait, and we should eat it reclining. The Baal Habayit then announces, now we are saying Birkat HaMazon, at the end of which I will be reciting a bracha on the 3rd cup of wine. So naturally, grace after meals, and then the 3rd cup of wine with a bracha. Everyone must have in mind that the bracha also includes the 4th cup of wine also. And we don't forget to say Ya'aleh v'yavo inside the Birkat HaMazon. And remember to recline to the left for the Hatzeva when drinking the cup of wine. If anyone forgets the passage of Ya'aleh v'yavo, and remember to recline to the left for the reclining when drinking the cup. If anyone forgets Ya'aleh v'yavo on the Leil Seder, he must then repeat Birkat HaMazon again. You should pour the 3rd cup of wine, raise it from the bottom, and say Birkat HaMazon. During Birkat HaMazon, you should add water to the cup for mezigah at al-hakol over there. If one is a guest, if you are a guest, say Birkat Oreach. Naturally, there's a special passage if you're a guest in someone's house. When everyone finishes, the Baal Habayit then says the bracha of Agefen, and everyone drinks, again reclining to the left. Now we will fill the 4th cup over here immediately. It seems like, which can either be held or placed in front of us as we recite the Hallel, the tefillah of praise. There is no bracha at the beginning of this Hallel, and therefore, at the end of the Hallel, when we say the final bracha, Ma'aleh me'ulal batishbachot, we do not finish with Amen over here. Only when there are brachot, both at the beginning and at the end, do we then say Amen over here. Okay, anyone listening can of course answer Amen, but the one reciting the Hallel doesn't say the Amen, even if it was accidentally printed in his Haggadah. We lean on the left and drink the 4th cup of wine. It's preferable to drink the entire cup, but if you can't at this stage in time, then drink at least the majority of the cup, more than half of it at least. Then make the bracha achrona of ala gefen, priya gefen. Naturally, it's one the tefillah after we do it. Then there's the nirtzah. What is nirtzah, friends? Over here, that's how we culminate. May Hashem accept our tefillot b'ratzon. The Rambam says that one must stay up learning. Okay, nirtzah, naturally we sing all the songs. Chad gad ya echad mi yodeh ya echad ani yodeh ki lo na'eh ki lo ya'eh ki lo na'eh ki lo ya'eh. All these different fabulous songs we sing, and the Rambam says that one must stay up learning the halachot of Pesach until he falls asleep. If you can't stay awake, go to sleep, but if you still have energy, stay up and learn halachot Pesach. Wow. Rabbi Ovadia Yosef actually adds, we'll conclude over here, that if one stays up to learn, he may have coffee or tea. These are leniencies over here. Rabbi Ovadia Yosef says, even though it is after the Afikoman Kriyat Shema. Naturally we say that, so that's how important it is to stay this only if you want to try and you're forcing yourself to stay up and learning the laws of Pesach on the night after the whole Leila said about. Friends, I hope this was informative over here. I'd like to dedicate this to Refuah Shlema to me. I had a few muscle problems. Wishing you a good night, and please don't forget, if you're watching live, smash the like button, and don't forget, if you're not subscribed already, smash the subscribe button. Also, watch all the phenomenal videos we're doing. Wishing you blessings here from Israel, and a Chag Sameach, and I hope this was meaningful. Thanks very much.